In this presentation, we will see how a 3-transistor dynamic memory cell works. So this is the circuit diagram for a 3-transistor DRAM cell in case of both NMOS as well as CMOS design. As we already know that NMOS design, if I want to draw certain circuit in VLSI, it means that the pull-up as well as the pull-down part of the circuit will comprise of only NMOS transistor. So if you look into this particular circuit diagram now, the pull-up is comprising of one single NMOS depletion type of transistor, which we have already studied. For any kind of circuit with any type of expression, if I want to design, that is Boolean expression, if I want to design, it means that the pull-up will be reserved for only one depletion type of NMOS transistor, whereas pull down it is having three enhancement type of NMOS transistor. Second type of circuit what we have for 3-transistor dynamic memory cell is designed by making use of a CMOS type of design process, wherein we have studied CMOS is comprising of pull-up P MOSFET, that is enhancement type of P MOSFET, and pull down NMOS enhancement type of transistor. So these are the two distinct type of designs what you are going to have in case of a 3-transistor dynamic memory cell. In exam, whatever the concept they have asked, whether they have asked you to design using NMOS design or CMOS design, depending upon that, choose the circuit diagram. So let me now first explain why it is called as 3-transistor dynamic RAM cell. As you can see here, the pull down part in both the circuits is mainly responsible for performing the memory operation. So in the pull down part, you are having three transistors of NMOS enhancement type in both the cases. Since it is having three transistors of NMOS enhancement, we call this circuit as a 3-transistor dynamic RAM cell. Now let us start with the explanation of working operation of these two circuits. So first circuit, that is in terms of NMOS design. If you see here, this particular pull-up part in case of NMOS design is an NMOS depletion type of transistor. So the gate terminal of the depletion transistor is connected or shorted to the drain terminal of the NMOS depletion transistor, which makes us sure that by default the transistor is always turned on. So whatever may be the logical states you are going to apply for the read signal as well as the write signal, that is WR write signal as well as RD, that is read signal, it is not going to bother, but always by default this particular transistor in the pull-up part is turned on. So when it is turned on, it is behaving like a closed switch. So from VDD to bus, always you have a closed switch. So this is the VDD terminal. This is the NMOS depletion transistor which I have replaced it with the switch, and this is the bus terminal. So now if I want to perform, so in case of memory, I want to perform the write as well as read. So when I want to perform the write operation, write signal should be asserted with the logical 1 state and read signal should be asserted with the logical 0 state. When write signal is equal to 1, 1 is carried through the gate terminal of transistor T1, which is the on condition for NMOS transistor. We have seen when we apply the gate signal, which is nothing but control signal, which is going to turn on the NMOS transistor. Read signal is equal to 0, which is having a connection to the transistor T3. So if gate is applied with the logical 0 state, that particular transistor is turned off. Now transistor T3 is turned off. Suppose if I assume that the bus is carrying a signal of logical 1 state, so this diffusion path of transistor T1 is going to carry a logical 1 state over here, and output will also appear in terms of logical 1 state, because here it is behaving like a closed switch for transistor T1. So 1 is going to be the output for transistor T1, which is in turn applied as input for your transistor T2, that is control signal for transistor T2. So now transistor T2 is also turned on. So the charge, whatever the output you are having, it will be stored in the capacitor of transistor T2, which I will be designating it as the capacitor Cg. So now this is the right operation. Same way, if I am having logical 0 signal appearing in the bus terminal, so that 0 will appear towards the diffusion path. 0 again, transistor T1 is closed, or it is behaving like a on component. So obviously this output will be 0. Here it is 0. So transistor T2 is off, which is going to behave like an open switch. So in that particular condition, you are pulled down. Anyways, transistor T3 is off. So transistor T3 is open. Again, transistor T2 is off, because here I have considered the value of the bus signal as equal to logical 0 state. So that is also off. And here there is a ground terminal. This will be transistor T3 and this will be the transistor T2. So all these are open now. So here this is where I am having the bus carrying a value of logical 0 state. If bus is carrying a value of logical 1 state, again the pull-up is closed. There is a bus signal. So 1 means it is showing me the output value as 1 for transistor T1. So transistor T2 will be turned on. So transistor T3 will be off because of the read signal asserted with the value of logical 0 state. So apart from this, so this is open switch for transistor T3. Then I am having one closed switch for transistor T2. Then I am having a ground terminal. So before that, even this transistor is turned on, right? So when that particular transistor is turned on, I am having a connection from this bus. In the previous concept, I can ignore because T3 was turned off, which was depending upon this particular state, whether it is equal to 1 or 0. So when this is carrying a logical 1 state, obviously here I am having 1, this is 1. Gate signal, right operation is 1, so transistor T1 is on. So if I assume this as the transistor T1, which is behaving like a closed switch, so this is transistor T1. So the diffusion path is going to be carried to the bus terminal. So this will be the sequence. When the bus signal is carrying a logical 1 state, this is when the bus signal is carrying a logical 0 state. So now this is what the right operation is. So this particular capacitance, whether it is having a charge stored in terms of 0 state or in terms of 1 state, that will be retained as it is for a certain duration of time. Once you are performing the right operation, immediately you have to put this particular right signal or assert the right signal as equal to 0 state once the operation of right is performed. So when this both right signal as well as the read signal is equal to logical 0 state, whatever may be the charge stored in the capacitor during the right operation time, it will be stored in the capacitor Cg of transistor T2 for a certain duration of time. That particular duration is estimated as almost equal to a 1 millisecond time duration. So before 1 millisecond time duration, we are supposed to perform the refresh operation, or else the data will be lost. Means you cannot read the exact output what you want, which has been performed in the right operation. So in order to avoid that particular consequence, we are supposed to perform the refresh operation for the dynamic memory cell before the lapse of 1 millisecond. So now I have performed the right operation, and I have asserted the right signal also as equal to 0, read signal from the start itself it is equal to logical 0 state. Now let me explain how the read operation takes place. Read operation is different. So whatever the charge is stored in this capacitor, it has to be read back in this particular bus. So in order to perform the read operation, we are supposed to assert the read signal over here as logical 1 state. So when read operation is performed, obviously the right signal should take the value of logical 0 state. So read is equal to 1. Suppose if the bus was carrying a logical one state, if the bus was carrying a logical one state during the write operation what you are performing, since you have asserted the read signal as equal to one state, now this is performing the read operation. Bus is equal to 1, bus signal is equal to 1 over here. So because the bus was equal to 1, the transistor T1 was on, right? If this particular transistor T1 was on, the transistor T2 was also turned on in such condition, and because of the read signal is equal to 1, even the transistor T3 is closed, right? So even the transistor T3 will remain closed because of the read signal equal to 1 now. So till here it holds good because your bus is carrying a value of logical 1 state. So now if the bus was carrying a value of logical 1 state, it is finding a path to discharge through the ground terminal. How it is discharging? It is taking the path of a bus. This is the path of bus. So from bus, transistor T3 via transistor T2, then to the ground terminal. So this is how you are going to perform the read operation when the bus is carrying a value of logical 1 state. Suppose the bus was carrying a value of logical 0 state. During the write operation what you perform, if the bus was carrying a value of logical 0 state, I will assume bus was equal to logical 0. This was equal to 0. The transistor was closed anyways, and this was also equal to logical 0. The transistor present over here, that is transistor T2, this won't get closed because of the 0 input. If 0 is present, the transistor T2 is turned off. So it is going to behave like an open switch. So there is no closed path for the capacitor to get discharged to the ground level. So in such condition, if the bus was carrying a value of logical 0 state, then during the read operation it will be remaining at logical high, because now there is a closed path from VDD to the transistor of your depletion type of NMOS transistor to the bus terminal. So it will be at the logic high state or VDD value or logical 1 state. So this is the read operation which will be performed in case of your NMOS design. Now let me explain the same concept in case of your CMOS design. So once again I am having 5 to complement over here. So PMOS transistor, by default always your pull up PMOS transistor is turned on. If I want to explain the operation of DRAM cell of 3 transistor type, first I will be performing the write operation, asserting the read signal as equal to logical 0 state, which means that the transistor T3 is turned off, whereas the transistor T1 is turned on. If the bus is carrying a value of logical 1 state, so 1 is appearing in the bus, 1 is carried to the diffusion path, one will appear towards the output of the transistor T1, which is behaving like an input to transistor T2. Since 1 is applied as a control signal to the gate terminal of transistor T2, it will get turned on. So that is the write operation and bus signal having a logical 1 state. If the bus signal is having or carrying a value of logical 0 state. So here logical 0 state appears. Diffusion path is also going to carry logical 0 state. The transistor is turned on. The same logical 0 state will be carried over here. But the transistor T2 will be turned off. Understood? So if I want to explain it in terms of a switch diagram, the pull up during the write operation always behave like a closed switch. If the bus is carrying a value of logical 1 state, so 1 is appearing over here, right? So by default read is equal to 0, so transistor T3 is off. So transistor T3, I will be writing it like this, like an open switch. So this is transistor T3, Whereas if one is carried, so one is appearing to the bus terminal, which will be carried to the transistor T1. Since right signal is 1, the transistor T1 is on. So this is transistor T1. Since transistor T1 is on, it will in turn turn on your transistor T2 also. So this particular switch is also closed. So if I designate this as transistor T2, and then it will be connected to the ground terminal. So I am having bus signal. So this is closed. So here it is closed. So whenever you have the bus carrying a signal of logical 1 state, this will be the switch diagram. Similarly, if I consider this as logical 0 state appearing in the bus, so obviously 0 is appearing, the transistor T1 is closed, and here also 0 appears, but the transistor T2, it is switched off now. So instead of closed switch, it will be an open switch now. So it is an open switch, something like this. It is not getting closed when the bus is carrying a logical 0 state. So the write operation will be performed. After performing the write operation, whether the bus is carrying a value of logical 0 state or logical 1 state, put this particular write signal into 0. Within the lapse of 1 millisecond of time duration, perform the refresh operation, or else the data will be lost and you are not able to perform the read operation clearly. So once that particular, before that particular time interval, that is 1 millisecond of duration, you have to start the read operation. So assert the read signal as equal to logical 1 state, put this write signal as equal to 0, because we are performing the read operation now. Once again, by default, the pull-up transistor is turned on itself if you are asserting a read signal as equal to 1, which means that the transistor T3 is on. Suppose the bus was carrying a value of logical 1 state, so 1 is appearing over here. So in the write operation, here also it would have been 1, because write signal was equal to 1. If this is 1, obviously even this will be transistor T2 will be on state. So the bus will be pulled towards the ground terminal, because all the transistors are in the on state. If the bus was carrying a value of logical 0 state, so this would have been 0 over here. Transistor T1 was closed during the write operation, so this would have been 0. 0 is the off condition for N MOSFET. So here this path is open now. So only the path which is closed is in the pull-up part. If bus was equal to 0, bus was storing a value of logical 0, the read operation would have been taken the path over like this. That is, it would have been in a state of logical 1 or logical high state or VDD. So this is regarding the operation of the that is CMOS as well as the NMOS design, followed for a 3 transistor type of dynamic memory cell. So in exam point of view, you are supposed to draw the circuit diagram. Also you need to draw the stick diagram, which I will be explaining in my. So this is the stick diagram which I have shown only in the CMOS design. You can try out for the NMOS design also, which I will be explaining how to draw it. So circuit diagram I have carried it from my previous slide, the write signal, read signal, everything. So here you are having the gate terminals. So gate terminal, that is the control signal, what you are going to apply, it will be in terms of phi 2 complement, write signal as well as read signal. So I have to take 3 polysilicon layers, because gate structure is replaced in terms of a polysilicon layer. So this is the representation of polysilicon. So this is the polysilicon layer. So 3 polysilicon layers we need in order to have the 3 transistor dynamic memory cell stick diagram in CMOS. So 3 polysilicon, vertical polysilicon layers I have chosen over here. Then I am concentrating on the pull-up part. So pull-up part, one transistor is formed. So we know PMOS transistor will be formed when a polysilicon layer is going to cross a diffusion layer. So we want one transistor in the pull up and three transistors in the pull down. So you have to check whether one time a polysilicon has crossed a diffusion layer in pull up part, and three times a polysilicon should cross a diffusion layer. So this is a polysilicon layer and one time crossing of a diffusion layer. So this is one transistor. If you see in the pull up for these two polysilicons, I have not crossed any of the diffusion layers. So unless and until there is a requirement of a n type, the transistor to be formed, never ever try to cross a polysilicon with the help of a diffusion layer. So only one type of crossing is done over here. Whereas if you look into the pull down part, three transistors I need. So three times crossing of polysilicon with the diffusion type, that is N type of diffusion layer. One is this one. Another one is polysilicon crossing N type of diffusion. Second one, that is transistor T2. Third one is polysilicon crossing N type of diffusion. So three times we have crossed polysilicon with the diffusion of N type. So three transistors are formed. So now let me concentrate on the connections, how it has to be done. So now if you concentrate on the pull up part, polysilicon has been crossed with the P type of diffusion. So diffusion, so this is the diffusion layer. If I am representing these two with the help of P diffusion, and this is represented in terms of polysilicon layer. So now if you compare it with the stick diagram, so polysilicon layer, vertical layer, I have chosen it as polysilicon. This is a P type of diffusion. This will be P type of diffusion. So diffusion, one end should be connected to VDD. So one end I have connected it to VDD, another end to the bus, another end to the bus signal. Since I am having here P type of diffusion and metal layer, so I have used one contact cut. This is a metal layer, so there is a P type of diffusion and a metal layer, so use one more contact cut. In the pull down part, you are having a transistor T1. So right signal I am having. So this is the right signal polysilicon layer. So cross it with the help of N type of diffusion. So this is what the crossing is done, and I have marked it as transistor T1. So transistor T1, another end it has to connect to the bus. So another end to the bus, one more end to the polysilicon, right? This will be the gate terminal. So if you replace, so this is metal itself, I have chosen this layer as metal, and even this VDD terminal also I have chosen it to be a metal layer, and the ground terminal also a metal layer. So this is what N type of diffusion. N type of diffusion, and this right signal as well as the read signal will be a polysilicon structure, right? And all these will be N type of diffusion, and here this particular layer, it will be a polysilicon layer for transistor T2. So here this is polysilicon and N type of diffusion, so obviously one contact cut has to be used. So now if you check it out with the stick diagram, the pull down part. So this much I have done. So transistor T1 is formed, another end will be connected to the polysilicon. So another end will be connected to the polysilicon. Then I am having a diffusion layer. So I have carried a diffusion layer over here. Then transistor T3 has to be formed. So this is a diffusion layer, vertical layer. So I can use the horizontal layer as a polysilicon. So the transistor T3 will get formed. That is N diffusion crossing the polysilicon has formed the transistor T3. So extend it with the vertical line. So that is nothing but your read signal. So when all these are done, So separate your PMOS transistor as well as NMOS transistor with the help of a demarcation line. So wherever you have used a connection between different type of layers, make use of a contact cut. Here I have used a contact cut because this is a diffusion layer and these are the metal layers. So once all the connections are done, since it's a CMOS design, you are supposed to draw a P-well contact as well as an N-well contact by making use of a cross mark. So this is the stick diagram what you are going to follow in case of a CMOS design. If the same is asked in terms of an NMOS design, the pull down part will remain as it is. All the pull down transistors, there is no difference between your NMOS as well as CMOS. In case of pull up, I am having transistor, that is if I am following NMOS design, I am having a depletion type of transistor present whose gate terminal will get shorted towards the drain terminal. So this is what you are having. So this is the pull up part if you are following the NMOS design style. So gate connected to the drain and source connected to the supply, that is VDD, if I am following the NMOS design. So instead of this, in case of NMOS design, I am having a diffusion layer which is of NMOSFET crossing the polysilicon. Say this is a, or I will represent the polysilicon in terms of a red color layer. So this is a polysilicon. So a transistor has been formed and the polysilicon gate terminal has to get shorted with the drain terminal. So this is a diffusion layer and this one is a polysilicon layer. So I have joined two distinct layers. Must and should I have to make use of a contact cut. Apart from that, I have a metal layer. So assume this is a metal layer. So white layer is a metal layer. So this is a metal layer and this one is a diffusion layer. So either I can extend it with the help of a metal layer and I can make use of a contact cut over here, or I can extend the diffusion layer, that is yellow color, and I can use a contact cut over a metal layer. So any one of these will hold good. Pull down, everything is same. So this will be connected to the bus. So this will be bus, again it will be having a contact. So this is bus representation and this is VDD representation. Bottom, that is pull down part, it will be same. This is pull up and this is pull down. Only there is a change in the pull up part if you are following the NMOS design. So replace the pull down with the exact same what you have followed it for CMOS design. You will be getting the stick diagram in the NMOS design for a 3 transistor dynamic memory cell. Hope you understood the concept of how to draw the circuit diagram, how to explain the concept of memory operation in terms of read, write and refresh in case of 3 transistor dynamic memory cell. Also how to draw the stick diagram for a 3 transistor dynamic memory cell. In exam they may ask any concept either in NMOS type or a CMOS type. So hope you understood this. Thank you for listening.